Cool.
It looks like we're 0 pointed out.
Let me see. Something. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right.
Let me try and share this. I'm going to go to your page and share
Yeah, you can go to my page now and share it. And when we're done,
Man, I've just been watching the show for years, I think. I think it's been at least 1 to 2 years.
Probably, yeah. This is about, we're right about, well, we're between 2,400 and 2,500 episodes. We'll hit 2,500 by the end of the year.
Wow.
By the end of the year, we'll hit it. I don't have the exact number. So, all right, we got people rolling in. We got 26 people in the house. This is a special show. We got 3 shows today. Judith Kuzel, we rescheduled because Facebook is harassing her. So we thought it'd be good just to lay low, and we'll push her back into December or January when David Icke comes on. But anyway, so we got Joseph here. There's a little backstory to that. It's going to be an important conversation. We have Stephen Popiotek, who was on a few days ago, and we brought him back because he was iLabbed. He's been connected, Men in Black, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow.
For 30 plus years. So he's got some really good intel. So he'll be on in the middle, the second show. And then the last show is going to be Kalina Malnar, and everybody knows her. She's very powerful. But in particular today, with Joseph and Stephen coming back, we want to try to bridge the Lightworker, Disclosure, Starseed, Conspiracy, Way Shower platforms into one voice, because like my team told me about 10 days ago, if you guys can't come together in unity consciousness, then how the hell is the rest of the world going to be able to do it? Right? We're supposed to be leading the way. You still there, brother?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to play the hey, what's up, Stephen Savage? Okay, so I'm going to play the intro and allow people a little bit more time to come in. We'll be back in a minute and 19 seconds. All right, here we go. A couple of reminders, a couple of announcements. Today is 11/22/2020, and on my computer, which is East Coast time, it is 1:12. So my friend Amanda Lawrence 3 years ago told me, or actually told everybody because she posted it. She didn't quite understand everything, but at the time, but she said, between from that point going forward, anytime you have a bunch of 2-in-1 clusters, 11/22, 22/11. I mean, and so I'm sitting here looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones and twos. That anytime that occurs, you're going through power. That's a powerful period. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday have contained those numbers. And I just saw that Delia's going jogging, listening to this. She said it's anchoring this powerful day, 11/22/2020. Okay, so that's one announcement. Another one is, if you haven't gotten over to our YouTube, which is currently called Soldier One Studios YouTube channel, we are 15 people short from reaching 7,000, which would be kind of cool. And on that note, we just went over 24,000 on the Facebook Soldier One Studio page and 31,000 on the Soldier group. And there's about 90,000 altogether. And I just want to thank everybody for that and your continued love, support, and contributions. Allow us to keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day. Now, this is a special show. This is a good. I've never talked to Joseph, and I think this is your first time on, right? Ever?
Yeah,
kind
of like
you ever done a video? Huh?
A little bit of a fan of the show. I have a little bit of feedback, so if I sound weird, sorry. But yeah, I think I've been watching for at least a year or two. And Todd, bar none, I've met the most interesting Galactics, Patriots, Ascension, Reiki Masters.
Hang on. Try your take your earpiece out.
It's not plugged in.
Oh, there you go. You're good now. Leave it out. So
it's never plugged in.
Go back to God, I just lost my train of thought.
So your show, like I've
okay, yeah, go back to that.
Some props on this. The amount of Galactics and Ascension Masters I've met through the show is paramount. Because of you, there's so many I network with now. So what we're able to do on this platform is heavenly. Thank
you, man. Try plugging it in again. Let's see which one works.
All right, let's see what we got.
Oh, I know what it is. It's you're too far away. Talk again. Well, you're yeah. Hang on.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Way better.
Yeah.
All right, guys, go on.
No, you're good. You're good. It was you were too far away from the other one.
Okay.
I think he's good now, Ray.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Awesome.
So, and so Joseph, I love people that make you think. And Joseph's been hanging around a couple of years. Powerful comments. He pops in, pops out. He's very, very powerfully convicted with the Q movement, Trump. And this is something that I totally respect. My position, as most of you probably figured out, is very neutral. I'm very much into fortifying our personal field of energy, but also understanding that we have to look at every single aspect out there and consider everything with an open-mindedness in order to find the highest level of alignment. Now, he's come on. We talk a little bit. I'll talk to him. He'll make a comment. I'll talk to him. He'll make a comment. We've exchanged messages, and so I'm really excited to get him on because there's quite a bit of I don't want to say this in a bad way. I'm not saying this in a bad way. There's some divisiveness in the Wayshower, Starseed, Lightworker community, galactic, whatever you want to call it. There's some divisiveness. We've got people saying that they're channeling from higher aspects, and the higher aspects are saying that there is a good and there's a bad. We've got people who are coming out and saying, if you don't believe this or you don't believe that, get off my page, And then, of course, you've got the obvious media, mainstream media narratives that whoever is pushing, okay? Because it's silly and stupid. You can tell whether you like Biden or Trump or whoever, you can tell what narrative they're pushing. So there's all this stuff going on, and part of what we're going to do, but before we're going to get to know Joseph a little bit, we're going to discuss this open-mindedly and see where we can go with it. But first, you need to tell your brothers and sisters, how the hell did you get here? Did you have a wake-up experience? I know we have a lot in common, Tupac and a few other things I won't mention. But I understand your energy, and I'm interested to see, because you're fairly young. I mean, you must be what, like 20, 25?
33.
You're 33. Okay. All these light workers look young, except for me. Now, but all right. So how did you get, did you have a wake-up experience? I mean, or did you just, how did it happen for you?
So since I was a kid, I was actually seeing light ships. I actually, with a few that are here, Ricky, Amanda, my nieces and nephews, which are like brother and sister, we would lay down in the field and shoo, 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 and at the time I was just like, that's great.
Wow.
So there's always been an extra. I can't really I can't really put it in the terms of what it means. It's a feeling, but it always felt like I was here for a mission. I felt like the world was backward. I remember laying up in my bunk and just saying, what's wrong with this world, Lord? Like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And through that search, there was activations, there was key nodes that would present information and uploads, downloads, and all around. Um, and then 2015 was interesting. I was watching Dr. Stephen Greer of the Disclosure Project,
Yeah.
sitting out on the porch, laptop in my lap, and I'm like, man, this is some interesting stuff. I'm getting the vibes and everything, and I'm just feeling truth waves. Like, this guy's onto something, man, for real. So I closed my laptop, 2015. I'm on the porch, look up. I'm like, is this for real? Oh, they're back. Oh, hey, we've been around each other before, haven't we? And then so I take my hat off and I wave it up at the galactic ships. As soon as I wave my hat,
Yeah.
and the whole time I'm getting DNA activations. I'm feeling higher energy. I'm feeling the Kundalini work up to the crown and just do its magic. And so since then, from 2015 and since a kid, but 2015, I knew, okay, I'm an intergalactic citizen here to bridge things. I'm here to work with group mentalities mainly, and I'm here to bring the sovereignty of this planet into full transition.
Right on. Right on, man.
I guess that sums it up a little bit.
That's very good. I'm totally digging that. And I love the word bridge. And I love what you just said because, we get caught up in semantics, certain terms and certain definitions, and it gets a little contorted. But the energy of what you're saying is exactly what I'm doing, which and many other people. And whatever that path is, it is bringing a merging or an alignment. I forget what word you use, but a harmonization, an equilibrium, and there's a lot of purposes, I guess, or paths that can contribute to that occurring. It is a bit difficult, I think, for all of us at times, because first of all, your interaction with starships is something I have heard before. I've had a little bit of that go on with me. I do get that there is a telepathic. They can hear us,
Oh yeah.
right? And so that little display that you've been receiving tells me that you like all of us got a strong team behind you. But back here on the earth, and I've had that conversation with God. What is God, universe? And I think everybody here has. In fact, many people have talked about that on the show. But it gets a little bit tricky when we think about what is God, what is the universe and such, from that highest perspective. And the old saying, God doesn't make any junk, or let's put it another way. So if God created everything, we're using the term God, and we all know what we mean by that. Did God create an antithesis to himself, herself? Did God create a devil and then to be its antagonist and not have the power to take it out? I mean, so there's a lot of ways to look at it, but I always like to bring it down to the gut level here on the earth, boots on the ground. You got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of narratives. There's a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of us woke up through 9/11 and through the Kennedy assassination. All this stuff was like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't right, and had that conversation that you had. How do you see things? And no right or wrong. I mean, just how do you see things? I know you're a strong Q advocate and pro-Trump, and from a spiritual place, I will add that too. But how do you see everything?
I see it in the terms of an energy spectrum. So when I saw the starships and I made contact with them, it was beaming, right? I mean, it was wonderful. But I also had an experience when I was a child with a Ouija board. And this Ouija board was brought into I had visitations with my father against my sovereign will as a kid, but I was over there divinely either way. And someone had brought a Ouija board into the house for the first time. I thought nothing of it. It was put on top of the fridge. whatever. So I'm laying down on the couch like I usually do, and I'm facing the inside of the couch. I feel a very strong disturbance. I turn to my left, and I see a blackness I can't see through. It's like a black blob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 8 years old, 9 years old. I jump up. I feel things racing around the room. I was not connected to my father in heart very much, so he's sleeping. I'm not even looking at him for help. That's a lot right there. So I go outside and I pray to my heavenly Father, and I asked him to dispel whatever was inserted into that board or whatever ill intent. And so with that, I experienced a very low vibrational energy.
Yeah.
So there's a spectrum of narratives. True, there's different ones. I like the narrative that Q, the star seeds, and galactics are here to liberate a planet. God won't allow bullshit to continue, but there is free will to an extent.
Yeah.
So through that, no weapon form shall prosper either way. And in this video game, in this avatar I'm in, we want to be superheroes. That's how I see it.
Dude, I'm with you.
And,
I'm with you on
yeah.
this.
And so with
I,
Q, and I really appreciate the respect for Q, because I have many military friends that are working diligently and rescuing children and all the stuff that's been occurring under our sleepiness from the spells that the dark narrative casted on us. So with the light narrative, we instantly rise up to the 5th dimension and pretty soon probably fly with some Pleiadians.
What'd you say? The last
Pretty
part?
soon we'll probably be flying with Pleiadians. I mean,
I think we already are.
Space Force, I think
we
we have the
are.
SSP, the Secret Space Program. But for the mass, they will understand that there are benevolent people that love them, that are from other star systems, and there's technologies to free them. And the narrative is yours to paint. Paint your picture, man. It's your canvas. However, let's not infringe on other sovereignties, and let's respect their own sphere of experiencing that.
Yeah.
So I believe the only time God's warriors get heated is if we say, well, this person wants to be left alone, but is antagonized almost to a torturous death. And we stop that. And that's how you know divinity is real. Divinity always wins. Hate cannot create. Love creates eternally.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. So most of, excuse me, I'm drinking sparkling water.
I'm happy to be on the legendary platform, man. This is great. This is awesome.
So
this is like sacred ground. We've had the Fabrice here. We've had, man, we've had my Riddick Galactic. I mean, come on, we've had a lot of people here. We've had the No Words guy.
The No Words guy, yeah. So,
hey, did you feel that what he was getting across?
Oh yeah. Well, see, the thing was, is he when we got on camera before we started the show, I said, "How you doing?" And he didn't say anything, so he never said a word to me. But I picked up on it right away.
That's awesome.
I picked up on it right away. I was like, okay, I know where you're going with this. So I didn't even, I just went with it. So a lot of the whatever you might call this, memories or code, which would be in relation to my previous incarnations on the earth as a humanoid. Most, if not all of those, were full of the same spirit in my soul, which was, justice, love, I hate to use the word fighting because I think that's one of the words that's going to be leaving us, but, fighting for the rightful things and going up against a very powerful, opponent, opposition energy. But what I'm trying to say is that there does seem to be whatever narrative that somebody's most has the highest allegiance to, there does seem to be solid evidence, regardless of what the mainstream media says, regardless of anything outside of ourselves, just to knowing inside of ourselves that there is a I'm going to say once in a lifetime, like once in a many lifetimes, alignment occurring right now.
Yeah.
That just, to me, looks like it's not going to stop,
Yeah, I believe in the past, Earth has been through some traumas, in the sense that as far as what I've gathered from galactic intel and such in my own heart is humanity's destroyed itself a couple times over. And this, I think, is like the 5th round. However, this time we will ascend, and we will
Well,
become a galactic star planet. And
yeah,
kind of like individuals, people wonder, like, well, how do you got a Tupac and how do you have a Joe Biden? You know, how do you have, you know, whatever comparison you want to
it
use, a
depends.
Hitler
There's
to a
and
Christ.
yeah, and so
How does this
yeah,
happen? And
yeah,
what I've gathered is in the human avatar, some souls haven't had too, if they're souls, but some souls haven't had too much experience in the human avatar, and then they're like, I want to run the world, you know.
yeah,
And then so you have souls that have experienced many lifetimes. They're like, ah, hey, man, it's not
yeah.
like this. And so
Well,
there's no
yeah,
higher than or better than. We're all worthy and equal of the same source we're a part of.
yeah.
But to say that some souls have ventured in the human avatar more than others.
Yeah, and then again, you've got people, you've got somebody. Let's just take me and you out of it. You got somebody. Well, you got somebody like me and you who happens to love Tupac, and you know, there's another. Whatever the antithesis of Tupac is, we might not identify with as much, and there's people that would be more favorable to the antithesis of Tupac and not like Tupac.
Puff
But
Daddy,
anyway,
where you at? Hey.
Puff Daddy, right?
Hey.
Oh, you just had me. Okay, so like that. Okay, and see, I question everything. I question everything because to me, everything is a potential program from some level or another. Like, what's behind Biden? What's behind Trump? What's behind those who have held on to the esoteric information all these years, calling the Illuminati? What's behind the secret space program? I think there's enough evidence out there to understand that the physical controllers, or those that attempt to control, the powerless powers that be, okay, are very fragmented. There's not any unity there. You know, they've got, you know, if you look at the royals are over here, and you got the Nazis are over here, and you got this over here and that over here, the dragon families over here. I mean, nobody's running this show completely. I think behind every single country or block of countries or regions or whatever you want to call it, there's got to be some higher intelligence behind. And I'll give you one example, and I'll throw it back to you. Mexico. You know, I grew up in South Texas, a couple hours from the Mexican border. I've been a history buff all my life. And if you look at Mexico, right? I mean, this is a country that's huge. It's a country that has is a diverse and rich natural resources in their country than any country in the world. Okay, they got it all, you know, and yet here we are, the United States, which is in 170 some odd countries around the world, and pretty much has had an imperialistic aspect to it in terms of you know, having a presence in different countries. It's not like that with Mexico, and they're right next door to us. So that there's something about Mexico to me that there's something behind it, or that's protecting it in a way. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, as we go up, not down the rabbit hole, but as we go up the rabbit hole, does it really change? I mean, do we still have the same percentage of this and the same percentage of that and the same percentage of this and the same percentage of that, the same level of polarity and so on?
As it becomes a 5D Earth, now we definitely transcend most, if not all, dualities. The energy wave that's emitted from Other Gaia and Source Creator Suns is so powerful. Actually, to the point that when the Earth vibrates at a certain frequency, anything below it, those souls will not be able to experience here. If souls still want duality experiences, there will be other planets.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we'll be on their way if they do this again. But
I'm
yeah,
I'm a little tired of duality. I just want to be like,
no,
you know,
me too.
in a
I was
big
just on a
energetic.
galactic I was like, this is the end of duality. And how do you end the duality? How do you get to fifth dimension? Well, what's weighing you down in the old grid? What's weighing you down in the old energies? Is it left brain analytics? You know, is it always mathematical and ritualistic? Is it too much creativity without realizing you're in a solid world? So you combine the two. And through the two in the heart chakra, like, man, Dr. Joe's does so good. But he raises that Kundalini energy. So we're teaching the holy sciences that the dark ones kept from us. By nature, human souls are great. Like, a car falls on top of somebody, you'll see like 30 humans throw that mother, you know, see ya. You know, that vehicle's moved. No one was paid a check, but they were paid in honor and the glory of their heart. So
Yeah.
why does Christ, or why do Messiahs make such a great sacrifice for nothing?
Yeah.
They're not. They're investing. And they're investing that the human experience will awaken back to heavenly riches. And hey, we came down here to have an experience after all, right?
I had no idea you were this galactic. I thought we were going to be discussing, which we will. I thought we were going to be discussing Q and Trump and some of the stuff going on, which we don't do a lot of.
It's
you know
all
that.
the same to me. This is what's interesting.
Let's go there.
My Q and my military folk, they know the galactics. They're up there with we probably
talk to me about this.
Got a Pleiadian working in the
talk to
over
me
here, and then we got a human working over with the Pleiadians.
Oh, I'm with you on this.
And the Pleiadians are humans. Let me just say that clear. No three-eyed weird legs coming out.
No.
I mean, they might be out there, but the Pleiadians seeded this planet. They're our ancestors. They're kind of like grandparents.
Yeah. I'm with you on this. I had no idea you're this galactic. Now we're going to mix it with what you just said. Okay. Twice you've referred to, so let me set it up and I'm going to throw it back at you. Twice you referred to your military friends. Mm-hmm. Now, the stuff that you're talking about, I've researched for years and I pulled down some downloads. And you're right about the Pleiadians. I mean, I just 10 days ago, I don't know if you heard me talking about it, but I had the period of time where they were feeding me more of the galactic history. Mm-hmm. They showed me how the galaxy was formed. They showed me what species were the general architects. They showed me so many different humanoid species all over the galaxy. I ran this by Franco. I was just telling him what happened. He goes, "Oh my!" And his eyes got really big, got a big smile on his face. He's like, "Dude, that's exactly what I've been shown all my life." So I think this information's coming to us anyway. But right now, where we're at, these discussions to me will help people remember, will help me remember, help you remember. Let's go back to this part about, okay, so you said you see it the same way. You see what's happening here on the ground level as the same as what's happening in the galactic field. You mentioned that you mentioned that you had some military friends. I'd like to hear more about that. We'd like to hear more about that rather than watching it on a YouTube video. And this is going to be great because Stephen Popio Tech is coming on after this. And then I guess the third part would be, once you do those things, can you take us into how you see the Q Trump thing and how that all ties together?
Yeah, and I want to take some pressure on people that are still like, oh, F politics, and here's another politician. So when the election was first starting in 2016, I was going for Bernie. I was swept up in the Bernie crave, feeling the burn. Boy, we would have felt it if he got in. So I was like, yeah, Bernie's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's going up against, the top 1%. I'm liking this. I was swept up in my emotion a bit, I admit, but it was true emotion. He just wasn't. So then when it came down to Bernie, like looking like he's going to beat Clinton, of course they rig things. He bows to Clinton, and kind of passes the whole thing up. So I knew who he worked for. So when Clinton got in, it was Clinton and Trump. I didn't know enough about Trump. He was a stealth bomber and a good one at that. And I'm like, oh, I can't vote for Clinton. I can't have the blood on my hands. So I voted third party. Well, the Holy Spirit revealed to me he's working for the good of humanity, and he's not just another politician. He is part of the plan, and the plan goes from a galactic level, from our galactic star nations and the galactic councils that help oversee this galaxy, and it goes down to a Earth Council level, to where what's happening on Earth has not really happened before. So it's new times. We're going to be liberated financially, spiritually, and emotionally. And technology such as Tesla will be released. But back to the politics thing, just go with the energy. How do you know if any of these politicians represent you? See where their words come from. Do they dwell in the heart? Where do they live? Where do your friends rest? Test it. And you'll be shown, not test it in a condemnation, judgmental way, but in a discernment way, because you're here to make the best narrative light warriors.
Right on. Are you gonna?
I don't even know if that covered the question. I'm rolling.
Hey, this is perfect. So hang on, but I got to ask you a question. I'm looking at all that bling bling. Weren't we supposed to do a conscious rap together? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I can tell already this would work. So okay, but let's go back to that. Just to try to get some understanding. Then there's people like me who doesn't vote. Okay, because I don't see.
I just want to say something. At this time and juncture, we vote with voting and without voting.
I know, absolutely.
And
That's
I just want to.
absolutely.
And I know the
That's
election's over. I'm not here to.
no. That's my point. No, it's not over. That's the whole thing. It's not over yet. But no, that's the point. Energetically, I run my life energetically, and sometimes I take physical actions to accentuate that. But I totally appreciate what you just said. I think in order for there to be the bridge that you have been called to build, that I've been called to build, and many people, and the one that I talked about at the top of the show, a bridging light worker and disclosure platforms, because I research a lot of stuff, and I have for years, and there's some different frequencies coming out of these platforms. Okay. Now, in regard to trying to understand, trying to reduce the polarization in the light worker community and pull all this stuff together in a bridge, maybe we need more explanation. So I'm going to put something out there, and so we can get some explanation from you, because I know that you're well versed, and now that we know you're super galactic, you have much more credibility, and that's important. So Q, the narrative of the white hats. I'm going to give you a rundown of what I see. Okay, I'll just go back to World War II. World War II, everyone thought the Nazis lost. The Nazis didn't lose. The Nazis populated the CIA. They populated NASA. And it may look like America. It may look like America has a government and does this and this and that. But it's been run by this oligarchy, which has been Nazi-oriented, Nazi-based. You've got different factions. The Navy's over here. The Air Force is over here. So I don't want to get into all the complexities of that. What I want to do is follow through the narrative. So then we come back from World War II. Then you have industrialization going boom. You got subdivisions going up, and everybody's supposed to jump on the conveyor belt, work for 50 years, and save your money so you can pay for your fucking funeral before you leave the earth. Okay, that's called retirement, right? So then we get into the 60s. I was a young kid in the 60s. And the atmosphere was a lot like it has been the last few years. You're starting to see revolution. You're starting to see sovereignty. You're starting to see, protests and energetic patterns of a higher vibrational collective consciousness. It gets hammered. JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, boom, 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 boom. Then 70s is a lull. Reagan comes in, and then you start to have this patriotism that is, I'm sorry, it's a narrative behind it. The same thing's still going. George Bush Sr. is running the show. He hands the ball off to Clinton. We know that Bush and Clinton were the biggest cocaine dealers in this fucking country in the 1990s. Check out Mena, Arkansas. Okay, Barry Seal and so on. And then Clinton's handed off to Bush Jr., and then Bush Jr. hands it off to Obama. These are all on the same fucking team. All right. And then you have, and let's just look at this from an energetic standpoint. Then you have this bull in a china shop come in. Whether you agree with the person or not, I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the energy. What did this world need? This guy comes in and starts knocking shit down, right? And this narrative develops. Q is manifested. And so you start to have the Q movement. You have this coded messaging, these predictions. Many of them have some validity. They come true. But then there's other stuff that's kind of pie in the sky fantasy. JFK Jr. is alive. And maybe that's the case, but let's see. So you got all this stuff coming out there. You've got these narratives with the white hats in the background. And I would love for it all to be true. And we all walk home on the yellow brick road. I don't know how this works. They also have the galactic part of it, which nobody talks about. Nobody talks about it in the mainstream. And so on top of this, you see this momentum. You also see some divisiveness. You see that even in Trump's administration, he's got plenty of one percenters, okay, from day one. And maybe you have to keep your enemies closer. The old saying, keep your friends closer, your enemies closer. There's also this thing with the military. The military picked them and da-da-da-da. Now, my point is this. Wall Street hasn't paid a price. There hasn't been any traction. We've not seen anything go down in Gitmo, in Guantanamo Bay. We haven't seen military tribunals. I'm not saying they haven't happened, but I'm saying we haven't. That hasn't come out. And if okay,
It depends.
Let's start there. Let's start there. If people have gone to Gitmo and there has been military tribunals, and this has been under the authority and initiative of the white hats that support Trump, then why in the fuck haven't they shared this information in this? Because if they haven't shared it, this is the same type of approach that whoever has controlled the information, they haven't shared us about hidden technology, secret space, bullshit history. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Why are we still playing this shell game? And when is somebody going to stand up on a pedestal, not on a pedestal, but at a podium like Trump, someone that has a wide audience, and say, hey, fuck this shit. I'm an eternal soul. Let me tell you what the real story is here, because I believe you have enough in all of you, enough wherewithal to take this information in. You're not babies. You're equals. When's somebody going to get up and do that? Because I don't see anybody doing it.
Well, hold on.
Sorry about that.
No, that's awesome. No, be true, man. I love it. So they're doing that. Let's start with human trafficking and our children. We've rescued a record amount of children and our people from human trafficking. So statistics, math, it's all there. The narrative is changing. People are doing stuff like myself, the military, and we got a saying in the Q movement, which is really just the Ascension for Humanity, another term for it, and that's those that know will know. Those that want to know will know. So why isn't just a flood of information, if this is occurring, hitting the masses? Mass shock.
I don't buy that. I mean, I could be wrong.
And you're also taking down a global crime syndicate that's been around for thousands, hundreds of years. Okay. So
I agree with that.
To be able to do what we did in this time is no short of a miracle. And when you see Joe Biden, well, take a look at Joe Biden a few years ago and tell me if that's a body double or he just got different ears. So enjoy the show and get your popcorn and play the role of a superhero.
Why mass shock? Okay. Okay. Maybe the only way I can,
is because of the ill-intentioned ones. They would wield our people into a civil war if we're not careful, and would garner their unwitting control to hurt themselves. So the military and our people have decided to go this route. And it's the safest, most controlled demolition we could come up with of the deep state reptilian.
So let me get this right.
No offense to good reptilians. I hope you're out there.
I'm one. So let me get this right. Okay. You got secret space over here, which is at least 3 or 4 factions, right? Running independently. You got dragon families, you got the royals, you got this, you got that. Okay. And then you have these, and this is theoretical because we're having a conversation. You have this white hat unit that by some accounts was formed or in the Eisenhower era as soon as he realized that they were, and there's plenty of evidence for this, that the oligarchies were taking over, or something was taking over the technology. And then you have this period beginning, then you've got, top secret levels above the president, and we know the rest of the story. So theoretically, there's this very well orchestrated, synchronized white hat group that is carrying out stuff that's still not being advertised. I still don't understand this. Okay. I don't understand, because I could tell you if it was me, I'd do it in a heartbeat. All right. And I'm not saying I'm anything. I'm just saying I'm an eternal soul. What the fuck are you going to do to me? Because if you kill me, I'll come right back. All right. So why does it? But why? But hang on a second.
But why? I just got to say, with that energy projection, that energy right there won't be coming back to this planet. Now, other planets will experience that.
Okay, I can buy that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if somebody is purpose, like yourself, like myself, that we talked about, to build a bridge, to bring a higher level of alignment, to bring harmony to this planet, to bring justice, or whatever you want to call it. Why wouldn't somebody who has the opportunity get in front of the cameras, call a press conference, and say, I am an eternal soul. I'm just like every one of you, and I'm just like Jesus, Buddha, and Mary Magdalene.
Well,
Why? Here's the truth. I'm not going to speak to you in code, and I'm not going to work behind the scenes and not tell you what's going on. If we are all fractals of God, okay, and we're all unique and equal souls, then who the hell, but someone that has the mentality of a lesser God, who the hell has the right to keep anything from us?
And that's what the dark did. And that was their immature human experience, that they'll find out wisdom conquers their cleverness. So, yeah, I mean, the light has won on this planet. It's just manifesting in 3D and linear time.
I agree with that.
It's already won. So I guess the best advice I could say is just, it's an energy. This energy is, it's a little bit fluffy, but until the war's over, there's real shit going down. And there's psyops, there's human experimentation, there's gang stalking. I've been targeted as well as a galactic contactee. And so I work with different groups, and I do my best to integrate the souls that want to choose the fifth dimension. But through free will, some will cut themselves off of 5D Earth because they crave more of a duality experience. Yeah. Like, let's say a George Soros, or let's say a Bush Senior that even on his deathbed had chemtrail socks on. You know, these guys are sick. So they knew what they were doing. They knew they were depopulating us. They looked at it as cattle, you know.
I know that.
Don't approve of this.
I know that. Now, let me ask you this. And I say this with all sincerity.
To a degree.
And this is from you. I'm asking you this from your perspective and your experience, okay? Both earthly and otherwise. How do we know or not know that something, let's just use the term, and I hate to get caught up in semantics, something nefarious is not behind every narrative that we've been exposed to? How do we know that we aren't cattle, so to speak? I know we're souls, but we're talking about the physical part of this. How do we know or not know? Are you basing that from your own perspective? Are you basing that more on your non-physical connections or galactic connections? Are you basing it more on your research and your friend? You know, go ahead.
I'm basing it on my mama.
Your mama.
The purity of mother and womb giving birth. Okay. My mom was told that she may die giving birth to me, and she was offered abortion. And she bypassed that and was willing to give her life for me as her third and last child. And she said when I was in the womb, she gave me up to Father. Is do what you will with this child. Wow. That's how I know what narratives what, and that's how I know
powerful,
where the heavenly
bro.
Glories are.
Dude, you should have been on this show a long time ago.
I got a deep state person I talk to once in a while, and he says, you always know the guy who's coming to kill you. When he comes in the room, you can feel it. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. I've had a couple of attempts on my life being targeted, but was thwarted every time by divine comrades.
Right on.
I've had people recently at this apartment where they potentially killed one of my family members who lived here, the deep state. I had a guy who was telling me he could kill anyone in here and get away with it. And we were talking at my window going through the war. And he asked for a drink of water. And I was going to give him a cup of water. I said, I'd like to shut my window. He was holding my window open. I said, bro, I'm not turning my back and getting you water until you let me shut my window, bro. And it took some time, but wow, that potentially could have been, listen, we've been in this war so deep. Some of us are so tired and sore. So you're getting the best of me right now, because you should hear my family side of it when I get tired of these fucking bastards, because really ill intent has no place on this planet. No. And the duality has to end. But for the duality to end, the righteous warriors have to beat the bad guys, Todd.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be the bad guy.
Which makes it,
except for George Soros and those clowns. Like, I think they
Yeah.
wake up going, I can't wait to kill more humans. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm coming, boy.
I love this. You should have been on this show a long time ago. You're gonna have to come back. But that's kind of a challenge, isn't it? Like,
I
so
just
you
hope God
know,
gives him an ass whooping. So his next life, he's just like, oh, hey man, everything's
he's gonna be
I
a.
don't
We're gonna create a new species.
I love my soul.
Yeah. So, but it makes it difficult, I think, for a light worker, because you know you can't project. You can't project, like you just said, you can't project that negative, that non-loving energy. So you've got these assholes out there, okay, and we all might have a different version of what we think an asshole is or who it is. Yet we've got
Now, we've got the asshole.
So we've got to essentially, bring them into our heart.
Have ill intent.
Yeah. But how do we deal with that?
Well,
How do we stay balanced?
But I do have to say that a bad guy that's touched by Christ ain't a bad guy. So
Exactly.
it's just, look, it's the heart. What do you want your story? If we're writing a story right now, the humans are going to liberate themselves from this invisible army that is now visible. What do you want your story to say? What do you want it to show? I was whipping fucking ass, bro. I was just blah, 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 blah. If I had to drop an F-bomb, I dropped 10 of them, and we just flew over the targets and took them out. Well, what do you mean? It sounds negative. No, that's positive, because self-defense is righteous.
So there's a narrative that didn't come from mainstream media, that comes from infinite intelligence, and we all have that connection. And because we're in the human body, we pull it down. The first time we explain it, it doesn't have the purity that it did when it came in. Let's just put it that way. Plus, we know everything's metaphoric. But this particular narrative is that all of this stuff is going to deconstruct. The governments, the political parties, everything is going to deconstruct in a very short period of time, 2 to 3 years.
It is.
And we will start to be governed by councils. And there will be a very strong representation, probably a majority of mama. The same mama that you referred to, of the mother energy, of the divine feminine. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, right now, it was like the immature souls that want to take over the world kind of fooled the masses into, oh, look at that celebrity, or look at Brad Pitt, or, look at me, look at my star in the Walk of Fame. But that's all changing. We know that. So I guess, what's your main question? Because I'm rambling. I want to be more specific on this.
So there's a narrative pulled down, and I've heard it a couple of different ways, but this is intel. This is a download, and it's not me. I'm just the messenger, and that is that over the next 2 to 3 years, everything will be deconstructed. Political parties, governments, religions, institutions, all the truth will come out, and we will begin to be governed from a higher consciousness by councils that will have the majority of those councils filled with feminine energy.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a good mix of divine masculine and feminine for sure. And the wisdom will reign. Older souls who had more human lives instead of the immature souls. But that doesn't, and it's not to be like, okay, so this is another form of control. No, sovereignty reigns supreme.
Yeah.
So that means, hey, I want to go live in a Pleiades cluster. Well, they're a sovereign star citizen, a galactic planet. I can, or I can live here, or I can go over here, and my human family will help me build this house that I like. And then later I'll contribute in society in a different way. And this will be the future. We'll govern ourselves.
Right on.
We will also have wise councils to, help oversee any duality that remains and may come at us with ill intent.
Let me ask you about, let me just go through, let's just do a machine gun approach. You got me totally intrigued. You got some time, or do you have to go?
Oh, yeah.
You're good? Okay.
That's what I came to Earth for, Todd.
I'm so happy we did this. Tell me about your galactic connections. Have you had dimensional experiences? Do you have any recall of going on to the ships? Tell me about your personal relationship.
Yeah, I've actually... All right, Fabrice. I guess I could tell him. Me and Fabrice were flying in one of the starships not that long ago, and it was fun. And
You're talking
it
about
gave me
Febreze
starseed
from. You're talking
remembrance.
about Febreze.
Fabrice Splenda.
You're talking about Febreze from
Yeah,
Europe. From Europe.
man. Fabrice, the Master Jedi.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know Febreze.
he's
He's been on
wonderful,
the
bro.
show.
Yeah.
He's been on.
And
Yeah.
he's helped me through this transition because it's so tough to say, but it's just like when you're targeted, you feel altered energy come at you that's inorganic and not authentic from the
Yeah.
heart because it's coming from programming in their left brains. And so when I would be going through dark spells and feeling like, man, it's just Fabrice, man, hey man, send me some of that stuff, and he'd do his stuff, and then woo, my whole aura would shoot up.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
we're connected. We're like soul brothers.
Right on.
You know what's funny about that is me and my brother started a group called Soul Brothers.
Is that right?
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah, soul's always been a big word for me since I was a little kid. Soul.
I could
Tell
hear
me
you're a
about-
strong warrior.
Yeah. Tell me about. Let's start here. You mentioned child trafficking a while ago. You mentioned that there were quite a few. That there was a considerable amount of arrest and such and such and such. We have seen some of that reported. Tell me what's the real story there from where you're coming from? What do you know about it? How effective has it been, and why isn't it being advertised?
Okay, well, back before Trump was in, my mom would tell me she has visions of children underground trapped.
Yeah.
She would actually tell me crying, Joe, they're hurting the children.
I know.
They have them underground. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Mom, I know. We're working on this stuff. You know, it didn't integrate as much as it did later. And so with Trump and everything, of course, we're saving the children, right? We're kind of doing operations without the deep state knowing how good we are, because children first.
Yeah.
And then after that, we get a little bit more, hey. So you have a media that lies, that's by
We
the
know that,
reptilian
yeah.
hybrids, old rulers. So
Yeah.
just like the movie They Live, you got to put on them spiritual glasses, and then you might be able to read the energy of military light alliance intel drops. And then you can disseminate from the energy its authenticity from the heart, soul, and the spirit of mankind. And then you can go, well, fuck the media, I'm over here.
So,
excuse my language.
So no, you're good. This is so.
Bum ass clearing.
So secret space, free energy technology, child trafficking, disclosure of, why is the fucking queen still the fucking queen? Why is what's her face still chancellor of Germany for 15 years?
The Queen of England is
so,
gone.
Well, hang on a second. Wait a minute. No, that's a perfect answer, but I just want to counter. How many times now? The only place I've read that the queen is gone, or that whatever some of this other stuff, the kids coming out of the tunnel in New York City and all this stuff, has come from the internet. It's got to be just as infected by the 1% as anything else, because they built it. All right.
No,
but
it's not.
No,
and the reason we flipped their own tools against them is the same reason they blocked my original account that I've had for.
Well, then, okay. So what I'm trying to say is, I think we're on the same page. What I'm trying to say is, not every light worker platform is a light worker platform. Not everything is as it seems to present, and not everything is what it presents itself to be.
There could be some infiltration of the old guard, but honestly,
so
a real light worker, it's comical, because you read energy intent like a book.
Yeah, I got you on that. Where I was going with it is, there's things that I've read. No, there's videos that I've viewed, posts that I've read that didn't come true. That didn't come true. Like, for instance, Trump is boarding Air Force One on Friday. He's going to be in the air all weekend. The military has positioned themselves on the border of China. They're going to take out all of these people and put them into the dungeon at Gitmo. And I've seen that actually been forecast 2 or 3 times,
Sure.
and it didn't happen.
Well, it depends on your level of no. A lot of the things did occur, and there's something a lot of people critical of Q that they miss. Disinformation necessary, because we know, as well as the Alliance, the Dark Ones are observing our comms, so we have fun with them.
I still don't get it. By the way, I'm
So
not anti. I'm not anti.
The public knowledge, you guys don't realize what's going on militarily, and we're rescuing the children, and we're taking the head off the snake of the Illuminati as we speak, and people like Queen Elizabeth that we think alive no longer with us, and the public will find out. But the show is awakening them to a degree.
Listen, let me put it to you
and not be in total shock.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Okay, because I think this is where we're. Okay, if let's just say that tomorrow, okay. Especially given the situation with, well, just the chaos everywhere, centered in America, centered on this farce of an election that we just had, because I don't believe any votes actually been counted correctly since before Kennedy. But here we go. So let's say that let's say that tomorrow that the white hats come out. And they say,
Come
hey,
out the closet, white hats. We know you're in there.
Right? They come out and say, hey, we've got Queen Elizabeth, we've got Obama, we got this, we got all these people in Gitmo. Here's what happened. We just took over the media, or whatever the case is. I can't believe for 1 second that if that was true, and that narrative came out and was announced to the world tomorrow, that 90% of the world would not get behind that energy and say, let's go.
That's what they're going to do. And
well, then why are they waiting?
Huh?
Why are they waiting?
The children. And the transition on waking the people up at a rate that it's a big shock to tell a planet they've been reptilian hijacked. And then show all the atrocities they've done. And then to say, yeah, you unwittingly kind of supported it, but not really.
Well,
because now and you're like,
I can agree to this. Like, I know that, like, let's say the circle that I'm the field of energy that I'm in, that's a part of the whole. Mm-hmm. I might have, I wouldn't be shocked, and maybe there's a vast majority out
but
there.
Todd, you're let's say. Yeah. Let's say maybe we're here to help bring. We're the front line.
Yeah. So and that's what I was saying.
Take the first.
And that's what I was saying. I can agree to that. I can say, you know what? I can be there, and I would actually say
you're like a super ninja in stealth mode, bro.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
just waiting to link up with a liberator, get on the mic, and tear the rest of them to shreds.
Right. What? Okay, and so here's the thing.
Don't shoot me. That was friendly fire.
Here's the thing. All right. What I love about talking to someone like you is you're not. You have your purpose, your journey, your mission, your beliefs aligned, and you don't rip anyone down.
I do my best.
You're not ripping anyone down. I can, and it's not just you; it's other people. The ones that come out and say you're wrong, or where they're just flat being the origin of separation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like doing things for love in the old paradigm. 1/3 of crimes are crimes of passion, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I did it because I loved him. Oh, really? You fucked me over because you love me? Or you didn't tell me?
You love fucking me over.
But yeah, I just
why do you love this? This is bullshit. You could just love making love.
So, oh wow. So really, you're saying the same thing people have said, which I don't know if I can buy it, but that you're saying that they're not releasing this information
because there's live military operations going on to defeat these bastards.
Okay, so
There's always a tactical reason. There's
Okay.
nothing's not thought out methodically.
Let me throw another one out there. Why
Come on,
haven't
how many people believe, hey, I see starships. Oh yeah, go back to your fucking house, you kook.
dude?
Not
Everybody
all
here,
of them.
everybody on this thing will believe.
But I
it.
will say the Q Intel dissemination program through the Military Light Alliance has just went. So we are about ready.
Okay, let me say this. Okay, why haven't the white hats taken over the media?
Sometimes you can't tell people, you have to show them.
Come
They
again.
have to be shown who their enemy is and what they would actually have done to them, including.
So in
shut
other
down our
words,
cities, create
okay,
things
now
like
this I
jazz.
can buy. Yes, this I can buy because I look at what's happening now, and again, I'm
Get
not
over here, Todd. We're good.
I'm not Trump or Biden. I'm certainly not Biden, but what I'm
a
trying to say,
Trumpian and I'm proud.
I don't trust any
Hey,
narrative.
get the White House ready for me.
I don't even trust the Ascension narrative. I don't trust the twin flame narrative. I don't trust any narrative. You got to understand. I trust
Again,
me.
I trust the spectrum of energy I can read. So
There you
again, if I feel a hitman coming to kill me, God's gonna do something. You know,
Close the window.
Next
Next time, slam the. Next time,
they've almost ran me off the road on exits. These guys, and then there'll be a Freemasonic sticker just by accident on the car.
Yeah.
So I just tell through energy, man.
Next time the assassin comes,
higher energy, you want higher energy, and all of a sudden you're like, this job and this boss, you can shove it. I work for the Most High.
The next time the assassin comes, just slam his fingers in the window.
Well, the next time won't be a next time.
Yeah, no, I'm messing with you. Let's see. What was I just going to ask you?
Down.
Okay, so you have the thing. Oh, okay. I was going to actually say I concur.
Yeah, his buddy that was
because I'm looking
got swooped up too.
What's that?
His friend, the one that was kind of breaking in my apartment almost, he has a buddy and he was part of MS-13. And I told some of the gang stalker neighbors, I said, you know, if this guy's no good, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
I said I have military generals overwatching me, and shortly after he got deported.
Wow.
Divine.
So I was going to say I can see where you're coming from on your previous answer.
MS-13 also killed someone that was close to me back in the day. So it's a deep war between the deep state and the patriots and the liberators.
MS-13.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's gang cartels that usually originate in Mexico.
Oh, MS-13. I got you. I knew I heard the name. I just couldn't remember. Yeah. I got you. Biggest gang. Yeah. Okay.
You know, no paperwork. Them being illegal, it's easy to clean it up.
Let me go back to your last.
Not mine.
Let me go back to your last answer because I think it needs to be restated.
Shit, they're here now, Todd. Get over here.
So you said that I said to you, why haven't they taken over the media? And you said because sometimes you got to let people see what they're dealing with. And I get this.
We've been
no. I got you. I just want to reiterate what you said because I agree with you because this is what I'm looking at right now. I'm going, wait a minute. And I'm over here standing on the outside, and I'm looking at the Trump narrative, and I'm looking at the whatever that is over there.
Thank you. Hey,
and here's what I'm seeing though. I'm looking at the media, and it's so obvious.
Yes.
It's so stupid. Whether it's the virus, quarantines, or mask.
Yep.
I mean, you got fucking reporters. You got fucking reporters on TV in front of a camera, and I'm sure the cameraman's more than 6 feet away, wearing a fucking mask. What the fuck is that? Like, tell me that's not some bullshit, you know? But anyway, I get what you're saying, and let me just restate it so you can add to it or confirm this is what you were saying. So they're letting the media run. And they're basically allowing them to hang themselves because by the time it comes out, then they're going to go,
no shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Instead of thinking Trump's trying to take over like a new Hitler or dictator in which they've been spewing. Don't like that narrative.
But, so that's what you were saying. Yeah.
It's an ill
narrative. I don't think that. I think that the next 60 days
we're in for it.
Is going to be fucking. We're going to be balling the next 60 days. I don't see how. To me, Franco. Have you ever watched the shows with Franco?
I think
he's got really good intel. I mean, to me, he's got the best intel that I've ever heard in terms of a general picture, right? And he's connected the galactics, and I don't get into all of it, but he said that 2021 would be the year of disclosure from the get-go. And I can't see how that's not going to happen, because this is like a big pimple about to burst or a big balloon about to pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting stupid.
It is.
It really is.
And when you got reporters standing in front of burnt down buildings, literally burning, right? It's like, well, it's a mostly peaceful. Even they're like, man, this is a load of shit. This is a mostly peaceful. Fires raging behind them. Yeah, they're mostly peaceful, except for, the homes and, the people that are hurt. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We got the narrative.
So let me ask you a question.
No, we the people.
Man, I am
collectively we create the narrative. So if there wasn't enough people ready to wake up, you better believe we probably would have destroyed ourselves again.
Yeah.
No, I would have took a ship out of here, but.
So let me ask you a question.
They're not waking up, Dad.
Let's see. So from your perspective, how can we bridge the conspiracy platforms with the Starseed platforms, or do you see them as one platform anyway?
What we're doing right now is converging timelines to higher timelines. So all the, politics, Trump's probably just another one. I get it. I thought that at first, but just
I'm glad to hear you say
energetically, let's connect in heart, and anything that blocks that, let's dissolve. It's simple. Is it a network? Is it a job? Is it an amount of money? Well, let's free us financially. Let's be our own bosses. And I'm sure I got a galactic girlfriend waiting for me.
Yeah. Well, I got the best of both worlds. Mine's the same in both places.
Mega galactic. Yeah, come on. Good.
No, man, Morgan is we have a bedroom on the ship, man. We're connected there and here, which is
I'm sending you red hats, guys.
Yeah. But let's see if we covered everything. Okay, so we know why the conversation has been, why haven't they taken over the military? Why aren't they advertising what they're doing? You've explained that well.
And we are, to a degree, through Q, is getting to you, but they keep shutting channels down. So we are out there, QAnon. Why is
QAnon? Does QAnon speak? Why does it speak in code? Because let me just say,
the enemies are watching us too, Todd.
Yeah, but the enemies aren't stupid. I mean, if you're saying something,
actually, they're pretty stupid. I'm surprised.
Okay, so let me go back to the question. Why does Q? Why does Q?
There's no mic on it.
Why does Q? Why does Q speak in code? Okay, why doesn't it just come out and say, here? I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Right, he does. I mean, they do. It's just,
but it's in
how
code.
Attentive are you to the Q drops and those decoding to the best of their ability?
Has Q ever referred to galactic facilitation, galactic connection?
I don't know if there's been a specific drop, but let's just put it this way. The Space Force was formed under our administration and alliance. And when Trump was interviewed by his son,
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's still,
you don't listen. You don't go. It's interesting.
Well,
okay, that word right there unlocks like a vista of knowledge.
Yes, but we've also got to remember that we've all been led by a carrot on a stick all through these incarnations down here, and we've been burned every time. So in other words, what I'm saying is, you hear what you want to hear. Right now, I listened to that interview, that little thing you're talking about, and I thought it was very interesting. Mm-hmm. But here's a guy, Trump. Here's a guy, a soul, who's got as big a balls as anybody else. Okay, that I've seen. Yet and this is what baffles me. He hasn't let the cat out of the bag. He hasn't stood up and said, "I'm going to turn and throw. Fuck you. I'm not scared of you.
Yeah,
I've got the alliance behind me," or whatever the case is.
I mean, again, how attentive are you to Trump and his rallies? Yeah, he tears them to shreds. I sent you a video if you wanted to watch before the show. I mean, it's there. But, yeah, if you don't dig into truth, you might get the pile of shit they keep slinging at you.
Well, I will say this,
And I gotta say this right now: the earth deserves truth and transparency. We deserve.
hey, I'm all for it. That's what I'm saying. This is what's baffled me. Now, as I look at the light worker community and I look at the level of projection that I've seen over the last 60 days, for the first time, and I've never bought the explanation. I'm not doing it now that, oh, we can't tell everybody because we'll fry their brains, or they'll explode or they'll implode or there'll be civil war. All right.
Well, put it this way.
But if I look back at the last 60 days and I look at the level of projection in this community and the level of polarization and extreme comments, I would have to say I can be open to the fact that it needs to come out a little bit at a time because there's a lot of immature souls or whatever you want to put it. I don't know.
And it's also because they're battling us tooth and nail.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to lose their prey, which was our people.
Yeah. True. And that goes back thousands of years. That part
on 2-2. Todd, you picked the best date.
That's right, man. I knew this was going to be a powerful weekend.
I was born on the 2nd too, so it's all
second of what?
December.
Second of
1, 2, 2. Yeah, 12/02/86.
You were born December the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. I was born December the 9th.
Ooh,
right?
Sagittarius.
And no, not only that,
difference.
but do you know that there's in the original, what do you call it? The original horoscope or year, there's 13 signs. And the 13th one, I can't remember the name, it starts with an O. And it runs, I think, from, I want to say like November 30th through about, I think the 14th of December, something like that.
Wow.
It's a very select little slot there. A friend of mine who was actually born on my birthday, I met several years ago when I came off the street. He was a poet, and he's the one that told me about it. He sent me all the information. Pretty interesting. Oh, there it is. Susan Oros put it up. Opachios. That's what we are. Okay.
What'd you say?
That sign, that 13th sign is Opachios. Piuchus. I don't know how to say it. They're putting it up here. All right. So, okay. So it's now I'm looking at my clock and it's 2:20 and 11:22:2020. Here we go. What did we leave? What did we cover? Let's talk secret space. I got a great question for you. Hang on. So I look at the stuff that I receive and I look at how I know things are. It's all energy. It's all there. I was shown 10 days ago. There's a whole lot more planets in this galaxy, in this solar system, than 9 or 10. There's about 35 or 40. We can't see them all, whatever. And what I'm trying to say is, so I look at everything and I can see the big picture. And then I look at it like this. Some of this is physical and some is non-physical. Mm-hmm. Do you consider like the physical being the fourth dimensional, like the archons, the galactic family? Are they part of the physical? Are they in the dimensional? You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of our brethren, like galactic starseeds, or galactic brethren and sisters, yeah, some of them are still in the physical, like in the fifth dimensional, so they're really high vibratorily. But then you do have planets that have ascended not just beyond carbon, not just beyond crystalline, but they're literally existing in the higher dimensions of no death and are kind of close to ours. So we see each other a lot angelically. So it differs. Yeah.
I gotta ask you this question again because somebody's answered and I think you've answered this, but let's just go ahead because she's come up with some good questions. If Trump produces millions of kids from bunkers that were kept in slavery in the sex trade, organ trade, let's just say 90% of Americans will come together. Why hasn't he done this? Or let me just add a little bit more to that. Is that about to occur? Is the disclosure of this about to? Okay.
Well, yeah, and it's been occurring again right now. If through the Holy Spirit, if you dig, you will find these proofs, the things you need to know that, okay, children are being rescued at an unbelievable rate. So if the lying media doesn't report it, then of course it's like, okay, is he doing it? It's they're trying to blur the hero rescuing humanity, but he's not alone. It's going to take all of us.
Right on. I'm going to just give a shout out to Tori Lindbergh. He's born the 4th of December. And the reason I'm doing that, I think somebody told me about this individual the other day, and I can't remember who it is. And if it, I just needed to say that. Man, this is cool, bro. So we should do this again.
Okay.
If you're open
Hey,
to
can
that.
the star seeds say hello real quick?
I was going to actually have you, well, just don't even,
Well, so
take off.
Madison,
Take off the headphones and put them on the screen.
Okay. Hey,
put them on the screen.
Tell the story about how you saw the Jedi in the sky?
Yes.
You guys want to talk about the galactics? All right, come Todd.
On in.
I gotta go potty. I said potty. All right, here you go.
Look at that bling.
Angels. Right there. You can stand up or you can sit. Where you at, Tyler?
What's happening? Wait a minute. Who are these?
Madison and we have Isabel. You guys want to?
You have to get closer to the computer.
Okay, so they're going to tell you a story about how they see the galactics.
Okay. What are your names?
My name's Isabel.
And my name's Madison.
I have a daughter. Her name is Isabel, and I have a very good friend. She's about 9 years old, and her name is Madison. So, tell me about the starships? Tell me about the Jedi.
Well, one day I was at my cousin's house and we looked up in the sky and we saw
The Jedis. And once when I was little, I was coming from the store and there was a tree in my yard. And I looked up in the sky, and there was this oranges, and it was kind of red, and it was like a dot, and it just came going down.
I know what you're talking about.
And then my dad,
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, he said that he saw one, and it went in a weird direction because some of them go that way and then they go the other way.
My daughter Isabel was about 11 or 12, and we walked outside of the house to go to the store, and we saw a green dot and a red dot, and they both came down, and then they went together and they turned gold, and then it shot off.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would look like.
Well, we're echoing.
These are, let me ask you. So you guys are amazing, number one. Beautiful, number two. So what do you think is going on in the world today?
We have to fight all the virus and the cancer that everyone has. We should help them, and we should go through the future all together and have a great future all together so we don't have to hurt and be sad.
Wow. And Madison, what about you? Anything to add to that?
I love my dad. I'm shy. We talk all the time about feeding the poor and getting them food. She's got so many plans. Eating healthy. She got so many plans, and she knows how to eat healthy. Yeah.
And at school, it was like we did a paper, and it said, like, what would you do if you were the president? And I put, if I was president, if I saw the homeless people, I would give them like money, and then I would buy them a home and buy them food.
Right on. This is what we have to look forward to. These children are going to save us. And that's a fact.
Yep.
All right. Well, I've got to go. I got another show. I'm so happy to have met the two of you. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're intelligent. Keep smiling and keep helping this world change. And brother, I'll see you. I'll see you soon. Well, let's do something else in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
You want to do that? And maybe we'll bring somebody else. I would highly recommend you watch this guy in 30 minutes, Stephen. He was my lab. He's got some good information.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, we're just going to plug in and see what we can get out of it like this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd, for bringing a nice balanced platform to speak on you and stuff. You were awesome.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're awesome, and I'm really pleasantly surprised by the magnitude of your open-mindedness and your perspective. So, thank you very much. I love you all. Take care. I'll see you again, Joseph, soon.